coordinator, master hilltopper, the whole 9 yards, Corey Burton. We're going to talk about Bralon Brown a little bit in just a second. But first, before you do that, subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the bell so you get notifications when we do new videos. You can find us on all the podcatchers. You can follow us on Twitter at Old Positively, at the Stephen Willis, at Coach Burton 36. It's all good things. But today, and I'm going to put the link to the huddle highlight down below in the description, so you can just click on that. But Bralon Brown he's a treat. He's the highest level prospect we have committed so far. He's very good. And this is going to be kind of fun for Corey to break down.
It is. He's very, very exciting. He's what you want to see as a recruit coming in. Somebody you can say, all right, I'm gonna circle that name, Bralon Brown. He's going to be the guy. Out of all the receivers I've seen, like Adonai Mitchell's going to have a specific role. Chandler Pittman is going to have a specific role, I think. But Bralon Brown, I think his specific role is he's going to do everything. He's going to be this. I call it the Swiss Army knife. He's going to be the Swiss Army knife of this offense. He's going to be inside, outside. He's going to run a few jet sweeps. Probably not going to be the primary jet sweep guy, but he's going to do some. He's going to run some tunnel screens. He's going to be on the outside, running goes, running curls. I mean, he does a lot of things great. He is a home run threat. He can catch it, shake you, and go. He has a great catch radius, and I think he does a tremendous job, even more so than Adonai Mitchell, of attacking the ball while it's in the air and catching it as his highest point. And you'll see that in some of his highlights here. And he's not playing in a rinky-dink football league. He's at Chaminade High School in South Florida, which I don't know if you know anything about South Florida football, Steve. And our viewers, if you don't know anything about South Florida football, check it out. It's legit. There's a reason why Miami, back in the Howard Schnellenberger days, created a whole recruiting plan just for that area of the state, because they knew that's where all the talent in the state of Florida is, or the vast majority of it. I don't want to say all of it, but the vast majority of it. It's in that pocket of like what they called the state of Miami. So to get a guy out of there, he's proven. The competition he's going up against, these receivers that he's mossing, are fairly legit. They're great. They're good corners. Some of them are good high school corners. Some of them are Division I recruits, Division II recruits, but they're good players. They're good programs. And Bralon Brown is kind of like he's that five-tool player that you want as a receiver that can do a lot of things. Like Mecole Hardman at Georgia. He was somebody that could hit the home run on the outside, but also do some things in the slot as well. And they moved him around. The most current Alabama person, and Alabama still has some influences of Lane Kiffin's offense in there, mostly because Steve Sarkisian is the offensive coordinator. Him and Lane are closely related. And I see them – I see how they use Jerry Jeudy. I see how Kiffin used Amari Cooper at Alabama. And I'm predicting – from my perspective, that I think that's going to be how they use Bralon Brown at Ole Miss. I think he's going to be their Amari Cooper. Now, how that talent plays out and projects over the course of his college career, could he be the level of Amari Cooper? Maybe. You certainly hope so, because if he is, you're in great shape. He has good speed. That's kind of the reason I compare him is because they have very similar skill sets. Now, to compare the levels of success would be a bit premature, but there's the potential there, and the skill set is there.
When me and Corey were back in our video days, one thing we would always get excited for is anytime a big play was made in South Florida football, the official would immediately grab the flag because they knew the celebration penalty was coming. Mm-hmm. So somebody flipping into the end zone, somebody doing something silly. It's just an automatic 15 yards. You just guarantee it's going to happen.
And like if they left the audio on the camera when they were recording, you could hear the PA announcer, and the PA announcer would be going crazy. So the concept of non-partial public address announcers in South Florida high school football is non-existent.
Also, here's another recruiting video tidbit. if somebody has a 40 time at 4.68 from South Florida, it's probably not legit. They're running on a soggy field.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's and they're probably running through a wall of air too, so that doesn't help either.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that you can't number these guys, but you also can't just go off the video because you can be fooled both ways. And
Mm-hmm.
this way you can kind of see the whole picture.
Yeah, exactly. And Bralon Brown is exciting, and he's got a great skill set, and he displays it. And there's some things that when you're watching, don't get enamored by how many touchdowns he scored. Don't get enamored by the stats, whether it's production stats or 40 times and combine type stats. Don't get enamored and wrapped up in those things. Watch him on film. Watch how he flows through traffic. Watch how he catches the ball. Watch what he does after the catch, and you can tell a lot, and you can predict a lot by just watching that kind of stuff. And if you see a guy that attacks the ball in the air, whether it's a high point or whether it's coming back for it on a hitch or curl, if you see a guy that has great hips and can catch, turn, and get out of there, so catch, sink the hips and turn, and accelerate, which he does all three really well, you got a good prospect.
Yep.
And then watch his route running, because like the advanced like details of where to stem and all that stuff, that can be coached. Okay, so don't get like if he's running basic routes, don't freak out about that. But you can tell like the way he makes his cuts. Like if he makes really long, spread out, wide cuts, that he doesn't trust his athleticism. But if he can make good, tight, cut on a dime type cuts, whether it's running a slant, whether it's catching and planning and changing direction, whatever the case may be, if he has great feet, you can kind of tell just by the way he kind of maneuvers through traffic and maneuvers through his route. So that's a little bit of a highlight video watching 101 for wide receivers.
Yeah, and the other thing for that you can look for is, this sounds silly, but it's real. Without knowing who the player is, without knowing his number, is he the best player on the field?
Man, that's silly. Yeah, no, and that's what coaches are looking for. That's like the first thing they look for. Does he jump off the page? Is he far and away the guy on the field? And you can tell that. And if he's not, they're probably clicking next for the most part. Now there are exceptions, obviously.
That's honestly the difference between a Power 5 and a Group of 5 offer.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Whether or not your player jumps off the page.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's a real thing. So, and also, do they come off the field? Are they a specialist? Which in high school, you kind of appreciate those. Like, that person's going to be a dog if they're playing quarterback, slot receiver, kicker, safety, and does all four extremely well. They're fixing about to light it up for you in college. So that's exciting. So there you go.
All right. So watch the highlight below in the description. I'm Stephen Willis. He's Corey Burton. Thank you for listening.